So this is the last day of GTC. Still very busy. Obviously not as busy as the other days, but still very active. So yeah, it's been a good 3.5 days. Going back to sort of my last visit in 2016, where obviously there was a lot of ideation around creating an edge, high performance compute. Here there is not as much edge high performance compute as one would have expected, largely because I think the big tech players are still dominating this field, and so breaking it down to individual cities, to individual universities is still not on the radar, which I think is a missed opportunity. From our perspective, I've been talking to people about obviously what we're doing in Sharjah, what we're doing at the Sharjah Research and Innovation Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park, and how Marhead is set up for obviously local compute, not only for research but for tech transfer, for startups to thrive, as well as applying some Nvidia applications on there as well. So we are working with some of these Silicon Valley companies. We'll get them on board and we'll run their applications within Sharjah. And I think there's a great opportunity here where, rather than having to, work in isolation or work in a particular region where you are trying to sort of invent and collaborate within the local ecosystem, cross-border is so important in this game, especially when it comes to AI, because the diverse data sets, the diverse challenge statements, one person's challenge is another person's, smaller challenge, let's say, and being able to sort of work across those in different regions with different cultures, different skill sets as well, is I think a big advantage. Silicon Valley has to be a key part of what we do. Have to, in the sense that yes, visiting here is important, but also interacting with the companies that are based here. The San Jose Convention Center is 20 miles to the left is Meta. Adobe headquarters is a walking distance from here. Cupertino, 10, 20, I think 20, 25 miles, something like that. Apple headquarters, and obviously Google campus is around the corner as well. So the Valley still has that pull and that momentum, but there's definitely space. There's definitely space for smaller players. I actually met Tim Roper today, the Department of Business Trade, ITA, looking after technology. So thanks to him. Again, he sees obviously UK companies being able to provide some value, not only to the US as a whole, but even to the Valley itself. Startups and tech company startups and any sort of company startups are hard to do. They're always hard to do, and the cost, sort of where you spend your money, has changed now. Where I think they're doing something localized and growing within a local market was important. There's obviously an element of that you have to do, but now software travels across borders, right? It's a much easier thing to distribute. So we're definitely wary of that. Next year, obviously, the AHB Bikal team have to be here, especially the developers, and we have to be speaking at these. I mean, some of the things that we're doing around social services, around law enforcement, they're not really talking about that here because no one's thought of the idea, right? No one's actually implemented anything. Some interesting posters, some interesting developers that we've met here who have innovated some fantastic stuff. We are basically going to be we're working with them as well, so our connections in Silicon Valley do exist from before. So yeah, 2016 when I first came here, last came here, the DGX1 was delivered to OpenAI. 8 years later, everything's about OpenAI and ChatGPT 4, 5, wherever it's at. The GB200, the Blackwell series was announced this year. So in 8 years' time, God knows where that's going to be, and obviously what share price Nvidia will be at. They only have 30,000 employees. It's remarkable what they've done, and And I think someone said that Jensen Huang did say, you know, it was never planned, but it's a case of serendipity, and obviously working and looking at the future is why they're in the position that they're in. So the conference is definitely about looking at things in the future, rather than trying to fix the past, or how do you migrate and all that. No, everything's like, well, get rid of what you've got, because this is the new stuff coming in. It's like, if you're having, someone made the analogy, if you're using a fire to light your house or to heat your house, or do both, and the light bulb comes along, what do you do? Say, no, I'm still going to work with the fire, with the flame. So there's lots of analogies floating around, but yeah, economies that don't pick up on this stuff early, then don't be surprised, because the catch up on this is hard. You need the hardware infrastructure. You definitely need developers, and developers will only be able to work if there's hardware infrastructure in place. So we're doing our bit to champion that, and we hope to do more. I'm just looking around because it is still very busy. So any people I can see at the end, I will try and talk to them. But otherwise, that's it for this year at Nvidia GTC 2024, and look forward for next year.